Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your, I was going to say breakfast bankroll, closing bell for Monday, July 25th, 2022. Been a rough few weeks here. Going to get a show off, though. That's what we're going to do. That's why we're here. Myself and Riley get you guys ready for the pay window. ECSI VIPs. What a weekend. 5-1 Friday and Saturday. And yesterday we did our weekly action parlay. And what we've done now is we've added basically 3 mini parlays. And it's all up to the individual, whether you put a quarter on each, you put half on each, or you put a full unit on each. It's up to you. Yesterday, first parlay, Twins money line, White Sox money line, and Riley, I told you that number was begging and begging for the other side. Nice box to wire there. Nats was our dog of the day. $100 on that one equaled $478.67. Second parlay, Twins run line, White Sox money line, Nats dog of the day, 610.49. And then the cherry on top, Twins run line, White Sox run line plus 142, Nats dog of the day, 926. If you played all three for $1, 300 equaled $2,000. 2 dimes. Plus our 5-1 for the weekend. So yeah, ended up almost. And I do not, trust me. I'm not walking around and said we made 20 units last night. And for the week, we made almost 25 units. I based all our plays on $100. That's a unit. I'm not like some of these other, I was going to say something and I bit my tongue, that play and say, well, each unit's 500 or each unit's 1,000. And so, you're plus 10 units for the year, and you're up $10,000. It's bullshit. That's what it is. And I'm going to say what I want to say today because I can. I'm in one of those moods. So anyways, let's bring him in from the Windy City. We got some shit to talk about today. The one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. What's up, Riley?
My friend, nice Sunday action winner you got yesterday. As far as the MLB concerned, I had the White Sox and Cubs in a little 2-team action for my Sunday. So nice little early afternoon action, and then I didn't get to watch too much of it. But Tony Finau actually proving me wrong and getting the rare win for his career. So shout out to him as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, we got plenty to talk about, whether it's MLB today or your neck of the woods, NBA circles, the hot stove or whatever you want to call it in the NBA is pretty on fire right now. So good to see you as always, my friend. Happy to start the week with you as always on Monday. So I'm ready to go wherever you are, my friend.
First, I want to bring up the 3M because I didn't watch a lick of it. We always talk Sundays. We always bring our eyes to the bottom. Tony was 13-1 pre-flop. Piercy just cruising along, obviously. I think about a 4-shot lead, minus 18 going in. And then I think Finau won it at, what did Finau, minus 17?
I think 17. I can double check right now. Yeah, 17. Yep.
And Piercy, I don't use the C word. I hate to use the choke word in any sports. I think people just really, really love to flaunt that word. If you're not an athlete, you don't understand. You do have bad days in sports, especially golf. You usually have at least one bad round. A lot of people throwing that C word around. I didn't see one shot. I don't know. What was he, +5 yesterday, wasn't he?
Something like that. Like I said, I had my eyes on baseball all day. It was my 1 week off typically that I take for PGA, so I didn't have as much close of an eye as I typically do on it. So I actually didn't see it, but I'm seeing the same thing. And then Sung Jae and Griot got the top 3 there. That 3 shots back at Tony. So it should be a nice one. I know he's. I was just looking at it a second ago. I don't know if he's 3rd best odds this upcoming weekend, Tony, or 4th or 5th or somewhere right in there. there. But top 5 odds here this upcoming week as well, and better field than we've had. Not the most, not a top to bottom star-studded list. This upcoming field, but at least a pretty damn good one. Cantlay's in the field, Al Torres is in the field, so the names and the excitement should be picking up a little bit for this upcoming week.
And I thought I saw my first commercial 11 through 14, which would mean not this weekend, next weekend, the FedEx Cup starts.
I believe you are correct. Yep, FedEx St. Jude is 11th through 14th. Yep.
Now, is it still 4 weeks, 3 weeks? How are they? Did they change it up, or is it?
I'm gonna be honest. Golf is typically my extra, summer captain as far as that is concerned. I don't claim to be Mr. Dubs expert level as far as that is concerned. But
no, because
hey, I've had, but either way, I'm not sure.
The FedEx Cup used to be, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, and it was almost like they start with the top 100, and then after the first week, it goes down to like 60, and then 40, and then it's a scramble from 30 on. And that was, by the way, I heard 26 million reasons why Cam Smith hasn't announced or will announce if he is heading over because of the FedEx Cup. So he's in great position, obviously. The player of the year was already supposedly wrapped up by Scotty Scheffler, and in comes Cam Smith, guns a-blazing. So I actually think Cam's got to be the favorite right now.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to pull it up real quick. I think those guys are 1 and 2 still right now. Trying to see how much of a lead Scotty's got over him. 1,000, 1,200 points. So definitely still catchable, I would say. But those two. Sam Bird's not far behind Cam Smith at all. Only 60 points behind him, so he's not out of it either. Sam Burns there.
All right, so let's just get this out. And everyone watching, thank you. And if just do me, I'm just going to ask for a favor today. If you're not subscribing to our YouTube channel, just jump on over as me and Riley go into the hot topic of the day. Go over to East Coast Sports Investors. It's free. Hit the subscribe button. If you got a second, smash the like button. And if you really want to put a smile on my face, run over to our Twitch channel at East Coast Sports Investors and do the same. But let's go to the hot topic. And I find this comical because you don't leak this kind of information unless you want it out there. And here's why I'm going to say this. I'm following our buddy there, Matt Peralta, and he's putting his chest out, and he's like, well, I told Dave this a long time ago. So anyone that was sleeping this afternoon or this morning, the Celtics now become one of the top landing spots for Kevin Durant, a package highlighted by Jaylen Brown and then Derek White and maybe someone else and a couple picks. And then they countered and they didn't want Derek, they want Smart and Brown and a couple picks. And I am furious because first of all, I am a bigger Jaylen Brown fan than Jason Tatum. Call me stupid. I don't really care. Number one. Number two, I finally said at Christmas, those two can't work. Let's ship one of them. I was shipping Jaylen to Minnesota. Get me Cat and someone else. I'm okay with it. Ship them to Phoenix. I'll take back Aiden and someone else. I'm okay with it. They can play together. Here's what pisses me off. The cat's out of the bag. So unless you're playing possum with the Nets, so then you can come back and call Trader Danny in Utah and offer them a boatload with Jaylen Brown and get Donovan Mitchell back here, then I'm happy. Then everyone's like, you got Brogdon, you got Gallinari. And I'm like, listen, first of all, Brogdon's injury prone. When's the last time he played, 60 games, never mind 80. But this is what pisses me off. You're selling your soul to a 37-year-old aging Kevin Durant. I'm not saying he's not top 3 in the NBA. I'm not saying that. But you're going after 1 or 2 rings. There's no guarantee Tatum, when his contract's up, stays. So let's just play the game. You trade Brown. You get Durant. He plays 2 or 3 years in Boston. Tatum walks out. Now you're back to ground zero and a cloud of dust, and we got another 15 years till we get a shot at the title. 37 years old, Durant versus 25, and a guy named Jaylen Brown that's just coming into his own.
Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from, and I can't really disagree with you. I think, looking through some of the conversation you were having on Twitter with Julian Edlow, as far as if Jaylen Brown is adamant that he's not going to be back, then for sure, go ahead and shop around and see what options are there. I don't get that sense at all, especially after he kind of, the tweet of shaking his head kind of came out afterwards. It doesn't get that sense, right? If that were the case, then I would say totally. But I'm with you. I don't know that I think the ceiling is certainly higher for Jason Tatum, but I think we just saw it in the playoffs and the finals. I personally think Jaylen Brown is the only one, or between those two, exceeded expectations and looked like a guy that was willing to step up to that moment. And Jason Tatum, not saying he was bad in the playoffs or in the finals necessarily, but as far as rising to that occasion and being that guy, I was more impressed with Jaylen Brown. So as far as that is concerned, I'm with you for the most part. At 25 years old, I don't think I want to get rid of that either. If I'm the Brooklyn Nets and this actually happened and Jaylen Brown was mentioned, I'm hitting the yes button immediately, not thinking twice. If you really are, getting rid of Kevin Durant, there's not anyone that's been talked about that I would rather have over him, in my opinion. So I'm surprised that the Nets are even, if this really was getting as far as it sounded like, or even really entertaining, kind of going back and forth. Because the Celtics obviously are going to be pretty damn picky about it. So I'm with you for the most part, and I'm a massive Kevin Durant fan. It's add him into any situation, and I think you can you probably have a better chance than you do now. But obviously, giving up the capital that they would give, it's an interesting spot where the East is kind of, there's 4 or 5 teams that aren't going anywhere for the next, 5 or 10 years as far as some of the superstars they have. So, like you said, if this doesn't go well, then it's going to be another 10 years or so where they're, kind of in limbo or worse. So I'm with you. I think there's a different move to make that makes this team better and positions themselves better in the Eastern Conference. But obviously, if there's a possibility that you get Kevin Durant, I think a lot of teams will at least entertain it for sure. But throwing Jaylen Brown's name in trade conversation can be dangerous. Obviously, he already reacted to it today. So, these guys are fragile. So, if you plan on having him around for the next 10 years, it's something that I wouldn't be toying with at all if that's what's going on here.
And they're trying to be proactive because word on the street is he's feeling disrespected. He thinks he's comparable. He wants the number one role. Well, unfortunately, it's Tatum's show, Tatum's house. And that's what I was asking Julian. That's what I was asking Matt. How much say in this whole matter does Tatum have? Now, listening to the locals before we came on, someone that's pretty well tied in the local scene says Tatum does not want to play with Durant. And he says this is all blowing smoke up everyone's you-know-what. And now it comes down to the cat's out of the bag. And I don't think, even though Jaylen's got 2 more years here, what happens in the locker room? What happens, does he start to say, hey, I want the rock, Jason? Because don't forget, the Celtics were up 2-1. And you were right, by the way. You were correct. Tatum was nowhere to be found in game 4, 5, or 6. He was a Mason. He couldn't throw it in the damn ocean. And I'm not saying that was the reason they lost, okay? You just added Brogdon and Gallinari for nothing. And so without having to blow this team up to get a Durant, and I'm not saying he's not a star. I'm not saying Tatum and Durant wouldn't work. I'm just saying I'm not giving up, a 25-year-old for a 37-year-old in the NBA. I'm not going to do it.
Right, and if this was 365 days ago, a year ago, or even 6 months ago, maybe 7 months ago before they hit the hot streak, maybe this is a different conversation. But I mean, Jaylen Brown essentially just proved what you guys have been waiting for the last 2-3 years. As far as he's really athletic, and we think he's going to be really good. And it was still kind of there was still a ceiling to grasp. It seems as though he just captured that over the last few months, and so I'm with you. I think they should hold on to it for sure. And as far as what the kids are saying, he's got that dog in him. Basically, what we're saying, he's got a dog in him a little more than I would say Jason Tatum does. At least what we saw. Obviously, you don't want to. It's not an open and shut case after one deep playoff run. Obviously, Tatum can flip that script, but yeah, I would keep them together honestly if I were the Celtics.
Basically, we got a semi-full slate. There is some weather in the east, so I got Don Best to the left. I got Sports Insights to the right. can flip up to Wager Talk. I'm just every time you go into a game, I'm going to look at the weather report
Sure.
where I have some clouds. Interesting today. Overnight and this morning looked at the numbers. It really didn't look good. I broke it down with a few clients today. A couple things stick out to me. I'm kind of really interested in to see how you see the board today.
Sure. Let's get things. The first one I'm interested in talking about a little bit here. Miami and Cincinnati. Trevor Rogers, who we've talked about, not anywhere near the guy he was last year. And at times over the last month or so, some of the odds might lead you to believe he might be due for a bounce back or some positive regression. Coming into today against Lodolo, if that's how you pronounce his name for the Reds, the Reds are getting the favoritism here, or the favorite odds here at home, minus 130 or so, even minus 140 in the first 5 or so. Were you surprised to see this? And is this an easy Trevor Rogers is getting lit up today, or is this not so fast? Maybe that's trying to throw a trick at someone like myself over here looking at these odds.
Okay, Friday, Marlins amidst a 33-inning scoreless drought. Their team total was 4.5, juiced under minus 135.
Yep.
And they were favored that game. We had the Marlins that game, and we had them over 4.5 plus 115. They won 8-1. Team total for Miami today, 4.5, juiced under minus 135. So I think I'm leaning Miami team total over 4.5. And if they get there, the under over is 9. So I think what Vegas is saying is they like it the other way. They like Cincinnati today. I think the Cincinnati team gets to 5 first, and it's probably going to be a 5-4, 5-3 Reds. But I'm eyeing Miami team total over 4.5 plus 115.
It was just interesting because, looking over at Lodolo, he's at 5.81 ERA, pretty young in his career. It's not like he's been burning down the mound in any of his starts. So I was at least just surprised to see the splits on these odds coming into this one. But it's interesting. Trevor Rogers, we talked about it. His command just hasn't been there. So I'm not trying to get in. I'm not trying to back the Reds, and at some point he kind of finds his form and gets back to being a really really all-star level pitcher. I'm not going to get in front of that train. So I'm really interested as far as the team totals in this game as well. Next one, Atlanta and Philly, Max Fried and Ranger Suarez in this one. Fried came down to earth a little bit the last 2 before the break, but has still been really, really good over the last couple of months for the Braves. Braves about minus 180 in this one. Phillies, I know, lose to the Cubs yesterday morning, so they've got some nice, they got the nice extra rest, I guess you might say, as far as having that early game and hosting now the Braves. Braves lose 1-9 yesterday. You liking the Braves in a bounce back spot, or maybe the Phillies well rested with the early game yesterday? Question mark. Anyways, what do you like in this one?
Well, don't forget the Braves were the parlay crushers yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of the week before, all the favorites crashing right before the All-Star break. Braves give up a 5 spot in the first and never get ahead. I think it was 9-1. They lose. What I have here is 80 degrees with 26% chance of rain at opening pitch, 20% at 8, 17, and 17 as the game progresses. So I'm not a start and stop guy. I'm not a guy that if the game's even going to be delayed an hour. Pitchers are the biggest creatures of habit. They know when to go out to warm up, when not to. So I saw this and backed up. It was an opening number overnight of 150, an adjusted number now to 175 or 180. Your eyes are correct. You would expect the bounce back. And if you were going to get in first 5, minus the hook or a run line, that's where the eyes say, I'm going to stay away just because of the weather.
No, I'm 100% with you. It would, that would be the one way maybe Fried gets either chased early or whether it's by getting hit or just getting pulled early, and then maybe you've got some odd value on the Phillies, but I'm not going there either. But Tampa and Baltimore is the next one. Baltimore loses the series to the to the Yankees. I got this app got the Royals over the Yankees, so I thought it was the Yankees. But Yankees take 6-0 game yesterday. The Rays lose 2 out of 3 to the Royals this past weekend. They've got Kluber on the mound versus Voth for the Orioles. Pretty close, actually, as far as these odds are concerned. Looks like it opened about minus 120 or so, now down to, or plus 120 for the Orioles. Now down to plus 105 or so for the Orioles, minus 120 for the Rays here. Total 8.5. Pretty nothing crazy there. Are you seeing any weather as far as this one? I'm seeing 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. Is there any rain as far to add onto this one?
13% chance first pitch, and then it goes to 6 the next hour, back to 13, and anything after 10 at about a 20%. Again, real humid, so hot and humid always, lingers potential showers. What intrigued me about this game is I've talked to you guys at length. Anyone that wants to listen here, listen. Trusting the opening number. The overnight number was 150. Okay. Yeah. The corrected number was 125. It's down to 120. I will tell you this. When a team is favored by 120, yet their run line is only plus 130, I think Vegas is telling me that the right side is Tampa here, and you could try to even get cute and sprinkle something. They're telling me if Tampa wins, they're going to win by 2 or more as well. Listen, the pesky Orioles, they had a great run. They just, they beat Cole 2 days ago, but left their bats at home yesterday. Anyone that wants to back the Orioles today, I don't have a problem with that. I just trust and respect the opening number, which was 150. So I would lean here, Rays minus the 120, 122, whatever you get it. And if you really want to get cute, you can get plus 130 on the Rays money line today.
Okay. I'm with you on this one. I mean, we talked about last week during the downtime as this Orioles team going to come back down to earth with the schedule that they've got in front of them. So, not to mention Austin Voss saw the Rays last time out. I think that was before the All-Star break. 2 1/3, 1 hit, no runs. You would think the Rays should be a little more comfortable this time around. So, I'm with you on this one as far as the Rays. Next one up, going to Boston as far as where you are sitting in front of right now. The team that is probably catching the most dumpster fire type of reactionary social media tweets right now as far as the Boston Red Sox are concerned. So they host the Cleveland Guardians after a long weekend with the Toronto Blue Jays. Anything to note here? Zach Plesac, however, before I kick it over to you, Zach Plesac is on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians. Just saw his name being pretty seriously shopped around as far as trade rumors in the MLB is concerned with Plesac for Cleveland. So not sure if that is going to have any effect on his start tonight. But as far as outside of that, any thoughts from you on this one tonight?
I have tried to defend this team as far as I could. This is the same GM that beat the Yankees in the playoff game, that beat the number 1 ranked Rays in the division, and then got to game 6 against the Astros. The same GM now that everyone wants his head. The injuries, JD miraculously hurts his back, but at the All-Star game, they don't know how. Devers hurt now. As we talked about yesterday, it is I won't even call it a triple-A lineup. I think it's more like a double-A lineup right now. And it's been like the bad news bears out there. And Duran missed the ball by 30 feet and didn't even turn and run for it with the bases loaded. Tapia looked like Babe Ruth. I mean, he had like the weekend of all weekends. Listen, we all know the Jays are for real. They fired their manager. This is what happens after they fire your manager. Usually, if a team's ready and responds, Pavetta has not been good. I'm not a big Plesac fan, but I can't trust the Sox. I would expect a bounce back, but there's no one. Do you have a lineup in front of you?
I believe I got it again. Yeah, Duran leading off, Ref Snyder DHing at the 2-hole, Verdugo, Bogarts, Vasquez, Cordero, Dahlbeck, Jackie Bradley Jr., and then Sanchez at second in the 9-hole.
A little better than yesterday, not much. Guys, I'll just say this. If you want to get into this game, I would just blindly take the over. I would think the Sox bats wake up a little, and I think that Plesac is hittable. And I know Pavetta is going to give up 3 or 4 at least.
Yeah, I mean, especially the odds as well. I was interested in something with the Red Sox here. I was looking over 2.5 in the first 5 is plus money. I think plus 110 over 2.5 runs in the first 5. I think that's I actually took a little bit on that one. That's where I'm going in this one.
I like that.
Yep.
Good eyes, good eyes, good eyes.
Yeah, and I Plesac, the one nonetheless, I think, like you said, is hittable, and I think even still, with a little trade rumor circling around him, I think that might be a negative effect on him as opposed to a positive here tonight. I saw that this morning actually. Padres and Tigers is the next one up. Hutchinson, you mentioned, I think that was tomorrow or yesterday morning. You were hoping for yesterday. I think the Twins ended up smoking the Tigers anyways. Manaea on the mound for the Padres here. The Padres about minus 165 here. This one is in Detroit. No weather concerns as far as Detroit is concerned, right?
No, other than the fact you got the wind about almost 10 miles an hour, blowing out to center or left center. That was it, about 80 degrees for the whole game. 0% chance of precipitation.
Okay, cut out there for a second, but I'm back in. I saw the wind was blowing out a little bit in this one, and the total is up at 8.5. That's the only thing I saw. But Manaea, lefty, I mean, the Tigers' offense has just been continued to be pretty damn putrid. So any way to get into this one, or are you staying far away from this one?
I'm torn here. This is why you were correct. I talked about Hutchinson yesterday. It's he can't get out. I mean, they put the ball in play. I'm not saying he is, bellow bad, but he's just very hittable. And a Padre team where the team total is 4.5 juiced under, I can get the Padres basically at about even money to get to that 5 spot. Here's my problem. I've been talking about this all year, Riley. The team on the ESPN Sunday game that travels, they struggle on that first game back. And even though, I don't know what the game went to 11 o'clock and they only went from New York to Detroit, the teams struggle. I think, and I talked to someone today, they said the line looked a little low with the Padres and Manaea, and I think he might be right. I would have respected it more at about a 175. I think they're baiting you to come in on the Tigers. I mean, on the Padres, excuse me, with that low number. I mean, take the run line and, you're getting it even money, maybe minus 110. I really want to go Padres team total over 4.5. That's where I want to go. I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah, you just got clashing, whatever, rules here on your plate over here as far as Hutchinson versus your Sunday night travel. So I'm with you. It's those clashing ones there are a son of a bitch. But I'll be staying away from that one. Pirates and Cubs. This one is in Chicago here. I can tell you, I believe the weather is pretty damn pristine as far as the Windy City is concerned all day today and into tonight. So no concerns there for sure. Sampson versus Brubaker for the Pirates. Brubaker for the Pirates. Sampson for the Cubs. Brubaker actually been last time out 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 9 Ks. He's got some. He's gotten hit up a little bit by the Cubs here whenever they've faced him. The Cubs are the favorite in this one, actually, minus 145, over-under of 8. And as I mentioned, not much weather. Wind blowing in a little bit, 4.2 miles per hour. So really nothing crazy as far as the weather is concerned. Any way you're leaning in this one, or is this just a pretty hefty stay away altogether here?
2 teams that I don't have a good pulse on. When I go with the Cubs, they're nowhere to be found. When I go against them, they're like the World Series Cubs. There's nowhere in creation. They should be minus 140. They're minus 145 at William Hill and Caesars right now. I mean, I don't see, Kerry Wood on the mound. I don't see anything. No. Samson and Goliath here. I mean, listen, you said Brubaker coming off a huge win and put it in Scotty Webb's terms. You would expect some regression today. If you like the Cubs today, I could not pay the tax. I would throw them in the run line, take the plus money, and hope to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, I'm just, I agree with you. I'm trying to get any, I didn't see it earlier. I was trying to check and see what we've got for another one. Over 2.5 in the first five is plus 110. I don't love it, but if I'm going anywhere, it's at least something I might consider there. Yeah, I don't love that one. It might be a low scoring one here tonight in Chicago. But Angels and Royals is the next one up. That one is in Kansas City. Syndergaard and Greinke. This one I wanted to ask you. I think the Angels had a 5 or 6 game losing streak heading into yesterday. Let's see, it was a 5 game losing streak, broken up between the All-Star break. Got the win yesterday. Is that enough to get the 2-day, kind of 2-day momentum, or maybe not enough with the All-Star break mixed in there?
I like on those streaks that 6 or 7 number or
Yeah.
better. Um, I would have respected it if I saw Syndergaard minus 125, minus
Hmm.
130. I mean, you got an Angel team right now that is 40-55. Kansas City 38-57. Kansas City actually hit the ball well over the
Right.
weekend. They were getting a lot of hits. Listen, this would have been a great matchup 5 or 6 years ago. And now they're just playing out the string. I think Vegas is giving you the hint. Hey, if you want the Angels, you're going to get them at even money. Come on board. I think the under over evens at 8. I think you got a 4-3 game all day here, and I think Vegas is leaning and put their stake down on the Royals.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I don't have strong thoughts on this one, but I mean both these guys have been pretty pedestrian, not terrible, but pretty pedestrian. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not going to play that one, but I'm definitely with you on that one. Rockies and Brewers. That one is in Milwaukee tonight. Kyle Freeland and Aaron Ashby. I've mentioned, as rough as this Rockies team can be on the road, they're at least a little bit better against lefties. That's one thing to note at least. But the Brewers about minus 195, minus 200 on the money line here tonight. I'm just checking for a total. But aside from that, anything that you would be interested in? Total is 8.5. Any value on the Rockies on the road here? Throw out their record overall. They're 43-53, but I think they're closer to 20 games under 500 on the road. So, any value anywhere in this one?
I was thinking of you right away. First of all, I was thinking of SoCal D-Gem because every time Freeland pitched, it was an under day.
Mm.
Uh, I remember everything you say about the Rockies and lefties. I took a look. You can get Rockies team total over 3.5 at about even money, maybe even plus 110. So if I was going to get into that game, that's where I'd be behind it.
Okay. No, I think I'm with you. I don't go too as heavily when they're on the road. It's not paying the tax on this one. If you're really confident that they get a couple off Ashby, it's over 1.5 at way too high of a price, minus 130. But at least we typically see those at about 2.5 for the most part through those first five. So moving on, let's see. We only got a 2 or 3 more, I believe. We've got the Astros and the A's, Odorizzi, and is that Oler? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. He has not been very good as far as the mound is concerned for the A's. Houston rolling right along outside of the All-Star break, sweep the red-hot Mariners, cool them off real quickly. And then obviously the A's actually get 2 out of 3 from Texas to start things off. A couple more favorable matchups than they will be seeing here tonight as far as the pitching matchup. But minus 235, I believe, is the biggest favorite that we have aside from the Dodgers here on tonight's slate. Anyway, you're back in the Astros in this one, or is this too pricey in all facets in this one tonight?
Oakland just doesn't have the horses offensively. Odorizzi started the year real bad. I don't know if you got the numbers in front of him. The kid hasn't even been pitching lights out.
I'm double checking right now. I think you're, for the most part, he's been hit or miss lately. In July, 5 runs allowed against the Royals, then bounced back with 0 against the A's and 3 against the A's as well. And now he's got the A's again here tonight. So he's had the good fortune of seeing the A's 3 times in a row.
Which could be damaging because this is the third time around.
Right.
It's a perfect letdown spot for Houston. For the fact is that, like you said, they came in Seattle and won 14 in a row, and they're like, "Nah, this is our division best.
Mm-hmm.
Take a step back." Yeah, oh God.
So Oler also saw the Astros last time out, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs. So he is also seeing the Astros for the second straight time. And the total is only at 8.
Yeah, that's telling me something there that Ola might actually have something there. Um, I can't back Oakland, just offensively challenged. I just think it's a sneaky spot for a letdown. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That Monday travel on Sunday, you just had a great weekend. You kind of sleepwalk through because you're playing Oakland. Um, you know what? How about some pizza and beer on the A's plus 195 today?
I
How's that?
like it. It's weird. I mean, like we said, Odorizzi's got him 3 straight times. Oler, who's got an 8.56 ERA, has seen him for the 2nd straight time, and you're telling me he's not going to give up a dozen runs? I mean, give me a break. There's something that smells here, so I'm with you. Maybe some type of value on the A's there. Giants and Diamondbacks. We've got 3 more on the West Coast here. Diamondbacks minus 115 at home against. They've got Merrill Kelly going up against Junis for the Giants. Giants 4 straight losses to the Dodgers to start the second half. They are one of the coldest teams in all of baseball, or at least for any team that is above 500 as far as those teams are concerned. And the Diamondbacks take 2 out of 3 to get things started against the Nats. I'm seeing, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but I'm seeing 89% of money on the Giants. Still, plenty of the public still believing in the Giants. Are you going Diamondbacks in this one with the free-falling Giants, or is there another way to think about this one?
I got an early wake-up call from a friend at DK, Mr. Julian Edlow, and he was leaning Giants in the morning, and he asked me why the number was 125. And I said, first of all, Mr. Jeff Junis, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from him. Not that, quote unquote, Gilbert was a rock star, but the real reason why the number was what it was the fact that Vegas was coy to the fact that there was a possibility that Merrill Kelly was going to get moved in, and he did this afternoon. Right. Hence, now Arizona is now the favorite. So everyone just now that was already on the Giants is saying, shit, now you're going to give me even? I'm going to take my shot with the Giants. And what do we got a total there of 8.5? I think it goes over the 8.5. I think both teams will have some fun today. Kelly's been pitching pretty good. And Arizona, has flashes where they're putting up crooked numbers. And I was fortunate, to go against them at the right times. But when you're going against them and they're hitting, it nothing worse. 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and it's like,
Right. And I'm not going to be jumping in front of that train by any means. So I'll be moving on from that one. But that one should be a pretty entertaining series, honestly. I mean, the Diamondbacks are not a contender, but they're at least not dead yet. So they might have some fire left in them for sure. Like I said earlier, the biggest favorite on the slate is the Dodgers hosting the Nationals minus 315. The total is 8.5. Any way to get into this one? 315, obviously pretty hefty. The run line for the Dodgers right around minus 140, 135. And the first 5, nowhere near any way to get into that one if you're interested in the Dodgers. So any way to look at this one as far as if you're trying to play this one tonight?
I think a couple of years ago, the Dodgers went on like that 35-5 run in the middle of the year, something stupid. Actually, I think it was even more, probably like 45-5 or something stupid. Dodgers have won 19 out of their last 21. And of those 19 wins, I think I heard this correct. Do not quote me on this, but they've covered the run line in like 16 of them out of those 19 wins. If I didn't go to your wedding, people, I probably won't be at the funeral. Goslin's been great at home. Actually, he laid a clunker. I think it was his last start out. Espino is not that good. Washington. Hey, I heard something today, a possible 4-way trade, which I know and would never happen here. Something to the effect that Shohei goes one way, Soto goes another way, and it was hilarious how they worked this out. And then there was one of the teams got caught holding the bag like with a bunch of prospects or something. Yeah. So I thought that was, but Soto ends up on the Yankees. That's what that was.
Oh, geez, of course.
Writer,
Yeah.
So again, I can't get in there. There's no way I can get in there.
I'm with you, and I wish it was somebody other than this Nationals team, because I was kind of eyeing Gonsolin. I mean, not only he was leaking, as you like to say, leaking oil. His last start gave up 5 runs. He was the one that got the loss in the All-Star game. Gave up 3 runs in that inning in the All-Star game a little bit there. So in his home stadium. So I'm not saying take the Nationals by any means, but I'm at least keeping an eye on Gonsolin to see if he's going to, return to form or not in this one, because he the last 2 times out, it has not been looking very ideal for him. So, at least something to think about.
He's probably got whiplash from looking back so quick from
Yeah.
those homers that it still haven't
Yeah.
landed.
Right. Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to check and see what the Nats first 5 team total is. Maybe I get a little weird as far as that one is concerned. Last one up. I am off the fade train, and as soon as I do that, he will probably get lit up here tonight. I've been trying to predict some regression for him. Flexen on the mound for the Mariners and Otto on the mound for the Rangers. As I mentioned, off the blistering hot streak to close the All-Star break, they lose 3 straight to the Astros. As far as the Mariners, any way to get into this one? Minus 148 on the full game money line, about minus 150, close, same ballpark for the first 5. You like flexing here tonight, or do you think he gets laid up?
Looking at the team totals, Texas 3.5 over minus 120. Seattle 4.5 under minus 120 with an 8.5. For me, I think Vegas is telling me Seattle gets to 5. Seattle gets to 5 or more. Texas in that 2 or 3 number. I think you could play some Seattle. What do we got here for the money line? 145. It's a little steep for me. I could see some Seattle minus the hook first 5. I could see some Seattle full game minus a 1.5, and I could take a swing because you're going to give me plus money here, guys. I'd take a swing with Seattle over 4.5 plus 110 or even money.
Okay. And yeah, this Rangers team lose 2 out of 3 to the A's to open up the second half. Before we move on, any optimism, or are you pessimistic? I'm more pessimistic or more optimistic as far as the rest of the season here for the Rangers? Which way are they going to go?
It's trade deadline week. I think they got some good pieces in place. Offensively, they're working on their pitching. And listen, I know it's a few years away, but they got Leiter Jr. and they got the kid from Vanderbilt as well, the number 3 rocker, who was drafted 10th by the Mets last year. They said no thanks. He had the Tommy John surgery, goes 3rd. Right. So they got 2 young studs for the next couple of years until they're ready. I think Texas becomes sellers. Where are they? They're 43 and 51. They're 5 games behind the Sox that are 500. And someone wrote this on Twitter. Let me just double check. Baltimore, with a win by Baltimore, they get to 48 and 48, and a loss by the Red Sox, they get to 48 and 49. So technically, Baltimore would be a half game ahead of the Red Sox, and they would fall to last in the East.
Well, what's wild, and then we can be done. Texas actually has a positive run differential in the season, despite 8 games under. They got positive 7 run differential. How goofy is that? Not a very good home team. Another one, losing team both ways. But anyways, was just curious as far as that is concerned. How many days away are we till the trade line? Is it end of this week?
I want to say someone said August 2nd, which would be next Tuesday.
Okay, that sounds about right.
It used to be like one of the last days in July. I think I heard August 2nd, next Tuesday. My guess would be 4:00. Usually when they do it.
August 2nd.
Like that.
Yep. August 2nd. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the rich are gonna get richer. I think the teams that are fighting for the second and third wild card, like the Red Sox, could get creative and just make a couple. I call them lateral moves without giving up anyone. Again, for the millionth time, people, you can block your ears. I know I've said it a million times. I want the Sox to get something for JD, and I want the Sox to get something for Eovaldi. And I hate to say this, but they know if you're not going to re-sign Bogarts, humor me, get 5 prospects. I don't care.
Yeah.
I hate to see people walk. That's my point.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you, my friend. If there's a way where you have optimism that they're going to win the World Series, then maybe it's a different story. But it doesn't, especially after these last 3 days, that has not been the sense in your neck of the woods. So I'm with you, my friend. I am absolutely with you.
No, and the fact that people have amnesia, they have short memories. The fact again that we were a year ahead of schedule last year, and we were within 2 games of the World Series, and we started slow. We had a great run. We went to first in the wild card. Obviously, we knew we weren't catching the Yankees, but they've just too many injuries. Sales back on the DL. Again, once the contract stalled with Bogarts, and then they bring up Devers. It's just been the topic, which it shouldn't be the topic. That's why I love the teams that say, okay, we're going to sign you up until spring training. Once the first pitch of opening day, we don't talk contracts till after the season. And that was agreed upon. And then it was Bogarts who came out struggling, who says, hey, by the way, I'll talk again because he's playing injured and his numbers are awful. They're awful right now.
Right. So, and the issue, and I've compared it, again, totally different stages to where they are, but the owner in your situation, and I've talked about kind of comparing it to last year's situation that the Cubs went through, is these owners have their interest in more camps than just their baseball franchises, which the fans are not stupid. They completely understand all of those business endeavors and the actions that these owners take as baseball owners have impact on those decisions. So these fans are not stupid, and that's just another thing that really I know pisses off the local, whether it's your situation or obviously the Cubs with their dealings in European soccer as well. So, it can be frustrating.
Yeah, and that was a big thing where he goes over, buys a team, and then I thought he sold the team or was going to sell the team. I think he sold the team. These guys come in, they buy these teams, cheap, and then they just flip them. And the price of these teams now are not worth millions; they're in the billions now.
Right.
And it's just make sure the park's full, make sure we get the full concessions, and if they can get the park full up until the start of football and be in that playoff race, then especially locally, everyone's happy.
Right. Right. So, we'll see. We will see. This next week is going to be interesting.
So that's Monday in a nutshell, guys. It's the first day of the week. Don't go balls out. Don't go crazy. If you had a bad week last week, well, you weren't with ECSI VIPs. How do you get there? Well, if you go to www.East Coast Sports Investors, and on the top right, you click Plans and Pricing. You scroll all the way down to the bottom. It says Email Special. So for just $2 a day, $59.99 a month. It's a trial offer. You get charged once a month for the next 30 days, 3 times. So you get the retail value is $375 a month. We're charging you $59.99 or $2 a day, a savings of $315 a month. So if you did it for 3 months, you'd be saving yourself $945. And if you were with us yesterday, you would have won 20 units. Can you imagine that? Imagine just signing up yesterday. I'll give it a shot. Oh, sure. He goes 3-0.
Hey, that's the way you draw it up, right?
Just how I drew it up. Exactly. So check out, again, www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can send me an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com, or just follow me on EC Sports Invest and DM me. I'll get you hooked up with that. And, of course, Riley here from the Windy City. We got, by the way, I'm going to have to prompt you up on this one. I'm not going to let you go by the wayside this week. 2 title fights in the UFC.
On UFC Saturday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We talked about it a tiny bit yesterday, but 2 title fights on Saturday.
So make sure your guns are blazing at the end of the week. I think we're going to have Zayd on Thursday. So maybe we can have you come in on Friday and talk some UFC, or maybe even actually no, because I think you'll be with us Saturday morning, so you'll be able to headline everyone what you got for UFC then. Tomorrow, right around 10:20, Julian Edlow from DraftKings will be here. I think Scotty will be back tomorrow night for the closing bell. Wednesday, Andrew McGinnis will be here. from Wager Talk, talking CFL. Riley will be here Wednesday, Thursday, right? I'm screwing this whole thing up.
Well, I'll be here whenever you need me.
I'm trying to get the schedule. And Friday, I know Dan will be here at 2:30. We had a great weekend in Premier Lacrosse as well. Yes, Riley will be here whenever I need him, and that's the best thing about him. And whether it's morning, afternoon, and night, Riley's right there. So, guys and gals, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that reached out. It meant a lot. It's been a tough weekend, but we're here. We're here to get through this. Don't take anything for granted. Life is short. I always say this: when you wake up in the morning and your feet hit the ground, it's a gift. And you got 24 hours to make a difference. And I don't care if you're 23 or 103, okay? Just like this. Okay, that's all it takes. And you just don't know when your numbers pull or it was your day. So with that, if you are investing tonight, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up the phone. Why? Myself and Riley care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. That's right. I said, ask for help. Use that 800 number so you can be here, through the NFL, CFL, college basketball. Imagine November 1st is going to be here before you know it. And the rest of it. So, again, myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed evening. Cash some tickets, and we'll see you tomorrow.